Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. Peekaboo. I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available the fall of 2022, this year. The album launch, the concert, the tour. Dad AF. Testing. Big Mac filet of fish, quarter pound of French fries, icy Coke, thick shakes, sundaes, and apple pies. All right, let's get into today's video. You guys, I'm a little tired today. It's been a slow crawl through the morning. I stayed up much too late last night. I started watching the show Hacks last night on HBO Max. It's kind of been on my list of shows to watch, but I have been following what Manny MUA has been watching, and he watched Stranger Things, and then I watched Stranger Things, and he started watching Hacks, and so I started watching Hacks. And I have to tell you, it is one of the greatest shows that I have ever seen. It is so hilarious. I love Jean Smart from Designing Women. Also, Jean Smart did play serial killer Eileen Wuornos in a made-for-TV movie that you can find on YouTube. But anyway, I love Jean Smart so much, and she is so fantastic in it. If you guys don't know what it is about kind of like an aging comedian that has a residency in Las Vegas, and she gets paired up with this younger comic writer, and they really don't like each other, and it's kind of like they're working together in their life. And it's very endearing, at the same time, hilarious, and I would highly recommend it. There are 2 seasons out, and I stayed up till like 5:30 in the morning to watch. I was like binge watching it last night because it was so good. So that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing was, I'm caught up on Only Murders in the Building, and the second season is just as fantastic as the previous season. So if you're Only Murders in the Building fan, I highly recommend watching the second season. I also would highly recommend a show that my husband and I started watching this weekend. Now, if you don't know, okay, about the Monn house over here, we are a house of housewives, okay? We watch all the housewives. We love the housewives. I at times have thought that I should just like turn this channel into a housewives channel. So what did we get caught up on last night? I can't remember. Oh, I know. We watched the final 2 episodes that are out. There's 4 episodes out of the second season of The Ultimate Girls Trip. And it's Dorinda from New York City, and Jill Zarin from New York City, and Brandy Glanville from Los Angeles, and Taylor from Beverly Hills, and Taylor from Beverly Hills, Phaedra and Eva from Atlanta, who are fantastic on the show, absolutely fantastic, and then Vicky and Tamara from Orange County. You guys, it is an SHI show. I'm telling you, if you want to watch a show that you're going to get so pulled in, I haven't been so pulled into a show since X on the Beach, okay, and that's saying a lot. The last 2 seasons. So anyway, go watch that. And we still have 2 episodes of Dubai. I'm so bored with Dubai this season, but we are watching Beverly Hills and Atlanta, and we're caught up on that. We're caught up on RuPaul's Drag Race, which this all-star season of Legends is just fantastic. I'm just absolutely loving it. So that's kind of what we did this weekend, was got caught up on a lot of TV and went to the pool and stuff like that. So we had a really good weekend. But anyway, all right, and the last thing I wanted to say, and I'm going to throw a picture up here somewhere. I just screenshot it off of Patrick Starr's Instagram. But Patrick Starr has lost a profound amount of weight and is kind of journaling the weight loss journey, you know, on Instagram, and it's just really, really cool. And so I want to say congratulations to Patrick Starr for all of this loss of weight. And as somebody that has really struggled with my weight for a long time and has wanted to lose tons of weight, I think it's awesome. And so congratulations, Patrick. That's amazing. And you know, I do try to over here. I know people are like, oh, you drama channels, you only focus on the negative. I do think it's important to focus on the positive over here, you know? And I think Patrick is proving that it's possible. And I think that's amazing. So congratulations to you, Patrick Starr, on that. All right, let's get into today's video. We're going to talk about another beauty influencer. We're going to talk about James Charles today. Woo! James Charles can't stay out of the drama even when he's trying to stay out of the drama, which I don't know when he's trying to stay out of the drama. But Rich Lux sent me this receipt, so I want to say a very special thank you to Rich Lux, who is probably on his 4th day in a row at Disneyland because you know he loves the Disneyland. He's out there in LA, I think, right now, and so he might be at his 4th day in a row at Disneyland. But he sent me this receipt, so I just want to thank Rich for that. Here, he also actually brought attention to something, and he mentioned it in his video, and I don't really know how to mention it in my video, so I'll just say, well, Rich mentioned it in his video, but no, he did bring attention to it to me that there's this new feature on YouTube, and if you go underneath my video, there's it says thanks. And it's like super chats in a live stream. You can like tip your favorite YouTuber. So I'm not saying this just for me. I'm just bringing attention to it for everybody. But you can tip like on any video your favorite YouTuber. Did you guys know that? I had no clue that this was going on. So another thank you to Rich Lux for bringing that to my attention. Rich and I have kind of been throwing around the idea of putting up a podcast. And he even sent me an intro of what it would say and everything. A very well done intro. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess we're ready to go like tomorrow. But anyway, Rich sent me this receipt, and this is from James Charles, and it says, James Charles has got his hand on his head like, oh my, I can't, he's like the Scarlett O'Hara, you know, of YouTube. He's like, oh my, I'll just think about this tomorrow. But anyway, he posted, just found out, oh, here it is. He said something about, he put a question underneath there, and he said, just found out that I might have to change my makeup brand's name after 2 years of working on it. Anyone have any ideas? LMAO. And then he put underneath their question and says, please, nothing with the words James, Charles, Sister, Beauty, or Cosmetics. Well, I think it's kind of hard to have a makeup brand that doesn't have cosmetics somewhere in the title or description. Maybe I'm wrong about that, okay? I don't know. But what it makes me wonder is, who has copywritten, trademarked, or something, the names James, Charles, Sister, Beauty, Cosmetics, that he's not allowed to use it? Why wasn't he on this 2 years ago when he was at the top of his career? Why didn't his team of people find out about this? I mean, you have to imagine that if James Charles is getting ready to come out with this makeup brand that he's basically been feeding to us for 2 to 3 years, that he would have a team of people that he was working on that would watch, including attorneys, that would watch these things very, very closely. So I think it's interesting that his first response to it is, well, I'm laying in bed, I get the call, so I'm going to go to Instagram. But I do think that that's the businessman that James Charles is, which, that he would take something immediately to Instagram. You know, it's always interesting to me when like super serious things happen in people's lives and they take it immediately to social media without like maybe calling their best friend first or a family member or something, you know? And I think James Charles is that person. I really do. And so, you know, this idea of, I'm going to bring it to you, and I need you guys to come up with this name instead of me, who is the creative person. He's even referred to himself before as a creative, okay? Well, you're such a creative that you can't even come up with a name to your own brand, all right? And so he's going to take it to Instagram, and I'm like, this is such a bad look. But since you asked, James, okay, since you asked, I think that a really good name for your makeup brand would be Desperation, okay? I think that would be, or taking accountability. I mean, you already took the video down, so you might as well use it for something, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking taking accountability. Maybe that would be a pan name, you know what I mean? Or Desperation. You can look as good as I do. I mean, I really don't know what he's going to come up with this, you know, magic, this musical, magical, cosmetic line anyway, because he's already put the palette out. That's the last palette you'll ever need, which is the James Charles Morphe palette. And he said, release your inner artist. This, I did. Okay, no, I never bought that palette. And neither did 100,000 other people that are still, they're still on sale at Ulta. You can get them, okay? They're down there in the bargain barrel. But he said at that time, this is the last palette you will ever need because it literally has all these colors in it, right? And I said at that time, that is really bad marketing, because if you ever want to come out with another palette, you ever want to do another collab, you ever want to come out with your own makeup brand, how are you going to ever come out with another palette? You cannot come out with an accessory palette to the only palette you're ever going to need, okay? Like, I mean, if that's the only palette you're ever going to need, then you can't come out with something extra, right? So he's been feeding this makeup line out for years and years and years, and I thought it's kind of died. Like, if you remember when the James Charles scandal happened, and then he stopped the Sisters tour. Do you remember that? He was supposed to go on a Sisters tour. He was going to sing for y'all, okay? I don't know who was going to get up as his opening act, Gabby Hanna, but that was going to be the worst concert in town. So anyway, he was going to go on tour, and then he canceled his tour. So I thought, well, the makeup brand Shirley, and don't call me Shirley, at this point was going to have to just be canceled for good, right? Because it wouldn't make any sense. Like, you don't come out with a makeup line on your way out, okay? Like, let's just be for real. Let's call it as it is. You know, like, when you're going to the top of your game and you're doing really well, that's when you open a makeup brand. That's when you do these collaborations. That's when you're asked to do these collaborations. When your career is on the way out, that's not what you do, okay? Now, I don't know about you and how you look at it. I don't know if y'all are super fans of James Charles, or maybe you can't stand the person. I don't know, okay? But I'm facts, okay? Let's keep with the facts here, man, okay? I'm all about the facts. Take this down. Anyway, so I'm all about the facts, right? So I start looking at the facts, and what I found was very interesting. I have kind of looked at it before, but I went to James Charles' YouTube channel, okay? So here, let me pull this up. Hold on a second. I need my reading glasses. And first I need, I think, a little spritz of this cologne. This is another one of my favorites. This is Cactus Garden from Louis Vuitton. Well, my husband bought this for me, so spray that. Oh, everything's better with that. Now I don't have to smell the stench of James Charles up in here. Okay, so his last video he posted was 4 days ago. If you can make me laugh, I'll give you $10,000, okay? Then he did this little short called This TikTok Ad Cost Me $10,000. Then he did I Bought Everything TikTok Ads Recommended Me. He's really trying to get into the trend of the TikTok things now and bring it over to the YouTube, okay? He's still riding that train. Does anybody know what happened to him and his good Judy's Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio? I mean, did they have a falling out or something like that? You know, I know that he just used the Dolan twins and Emma Chamberlain, and we'll probably get to this in a second, in a video thumbnail that he did when he was like looking back on his most controversial or highly viewed videos or something like that. And I think as a result of that, Emma Chamberlain like deleted a video of theirs together or something like that. So anyway, we'll probably get to that in just a second. But I Bought Everything TikTok Ads Recommended Me, 846,000. These aren't even hitting anywhere close to 1 million. My $1 Million Dream Closet Tour, 763,000 views. Walking Strangers Dogs with Tara's World, 453,000. It doesn't even get 500,000. And then here it is. Following an 80s makeup tutorial, 1 million views. So the most recent one is a makeup review that he does. Reacting to my most iconic videos, and here it is, Emma Chamberlain and the Dolan twins, 1 million views, okay? Now, what's interesting about this is when you look in the last couple months, he's getting, they go like lower than 1 million, okay? And then they go from like 1 million to 1.2 million to 1.5 million over the period of a couple months. And then they go to like 3 million, 4.5 million. So what you see over the course of the last year is that people are, over time, losing more and more interest in James Charles. Where he was a year ago and where he is today, without very much scandal or drama involved, he has lost a lot of viewership, okay? Whether they're unsubscribing to him or not, doesn't really matter. It's the fact that they aren't watching his videos anymore. So whereas a year ago, he was getting, let's say, 6 or 8 million views or 5 million views, he's now getting less than 500,000 views or less than 1 million views, or it's taking him longer to gain viewership of 1 million views, which, let's just be for real, okay? James Charles' target audience is younger people who are out of school right now. His viewership should be at an all-time high, okay, in the summer. That's when his viewership should be really, really high. So I then went in and I wanted to go back and see his videos from the last couple years. And so what I found was that a year ago, he actually did a video called My Friends Draw My Makeup Looks, 17 million views. I Got a Perm, oh, do you remember that? 7.3 million views. But if you look, it's 8.9, 8.5, 20 million views, okay, on Best Friends Buy Each Other, other Christmas presents. And then 48 million views playing Among Us in real life too. Ranking scandalous moments throughout my career, 6.1 million views. Reacting to insane TikToks about me, 13 million views, 4.3. They're kind of all over the place, but they're actually not bad views, okay, at that time for James Charles. But that's not the case today. And his career is taking a major nosedive, okay? And I think we know that. And I think what's happened over time is it's the buildup of all of his scandals, his not taking accountability, his taking accountability in a video, and then taking that video down, which, I have to tell you, I thought this was very interesting when I went and looked. If you want to see James Charles taking accountability, somebody else has re-uploaded it. Hold on a second. James Charles! I had it all pulled up. We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun. Ace is the place with a helpful hardware salesperson. I've got all these advertisements stuck in my head from watching all this TV this weekend. Okay, so James Charles holding myself accountable video uploaded is the first thing that pulls up. The next one is an open conversation, and I do believe that that's the one where he does like the makeup, get ready with me, and he just, let's just tell some truths. Let's just tell some truths. And then the other one is no more lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, James Charles. I mean, James Charles is one of the biggest, I mean, he's literally the Pinocchio of the YouTube community. I mean, he is one of the biggest liars on YouTube. I can't believe he came out with a video called No More Lies. But anyway, it's interesting to me that he leaves up the video, No More Lies, okay? Which comes out and talks about Tati and Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson and all this kind of stuff and what really went on, okay? But as far as him coming out with a video called Taking Accountability, where he actually takes any accountability except for the fact that he doesn't, because what he does in there is says, I'm sorry everybody, after much consideration, I have found out that the problem within my heart of hearts is that I'm desperate. No, okay? That's why you should call your brand Desperation, okay? Because the brand is desperate and so are you. And that's the truth right there, okay? But he takes that video down, but he's going to leave the one up where he's, you know, explaining away why all these people have come for him. Okay. So anyway, which, by the way, is the video that he had lost 3 million subscribers on that gained him 3 million subscribers. It's all just whatever at this point. So then I go over to James Charles' Social Blade because I wanted to see what kind of views he's pulling, right, this month. And what I found was that he is pulling, hold on a second, 11 million views in the last 30 days, okay? 11,060,000 views in the last 30 days. He was getting more views on a video per video a year ago, okay? And now in 1 month, he is pulling 11 million views. I mean, if you guys don't believe it from me, here's the facts, prove it. James Charles' career is over, okay? I mean, he's better start. He's asking for people to DM him and send him applications for friendship. He better be putting some applications into all these fancy restaurants that he's been going to for the last 20 years. I don't know, maybe he could get him a good job at Balenciaga or something like that. Maybe they put him up in the showroom at Las Vegas, you know, and he'd be able to help all the high-end customers or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do for his future. I really don't, okay? You know, and then I think like that is another thing where it's like you don't have people around you or you have all of your yes men around you that are telling you what you want to hear. Okay, like James, like that was a really bad look, you know, that you all of a sudden come out with this Instagram story begging people to DM you to be your soulmate. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're the one that came out and said that DMs of Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat are not dating apps. And yet, you're the one that's doing that. And none of his friends are willing to tell him that. None of his friends are willing, they don't care, is what I think. None of his friends care enough to tell him, this is really a bad look and you're going to end up losing, you know, everything that you have. Why? Because I think friends are a dime a dozen in Hollywood. I really do. I think there's some really diehard friendships, you know, like Laura Lee and Manny MUA. But then I think other friendships, I just think that they kind of like keep a distance and they're like, you know, as long as you're not too problematic, we'll say hi and, you know, take a picture together at a birthday party or a release or something like that. But if you get in any drama, like I'm not going to protect you and I'm not going to like defend you and I'm definitely not going to be doing no collab videos with you anymore. I mean, that's Hollywood. Let's just be for real. We've seen that on YouTube over the last couple of years. So I think it's a sad day for James Charles. I think if James Charles releases a makeup line right now, no matter what, I think that it's just going to be astronomically bad for him. So then it makes me wonder, okay, if he is saying that he can't use any of these names, right? So let's just really say like he did go with the name the name Desperation for a video or for his makeup brand. I mean, can you imagine Desperation Cosmetics? I mean, first of all, what contract out there tells you that you can't use the word cosmetics, okay? The only thing I can think of is that would have to be Morphe that came out and said that in his contract with Morphe, because that's the only person, like, you can't, like, trademark. I don't think the word cosmetics can be trademarked because tons and tons of people use that, right? So I don't understand how the word cosmetics could be so trademarked that James Charles couldn't use that, which means that he would have some contractual obligation. And the only contractual obligation that I can imagine would be either with, let's say, people that were backing this cosmetic brand that have now, like, said, we're out, okay? And you cannot use these terms because these were the terms that we were going to invest under. Or he has some contract with Morphe that Morphe's like, you're not going to use any of these terms. Okay, but they let Jaclyn Hill go with Jaclyn Cosmetics. So I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that James Charles is not, able to use these terms. So what I'm wondering is James Charles lying again? Is this another tactic for him to say, these are all the words that I can't use to come up with my own brand? I mean, literally, these are the words that define him. I mean, his brand, Sisters, James Charles, Cosmetics. I mean, what is he supposed to come up with that people would know that it was his cosmetics brand unless he had his face on it, He can't use his own name, James. He can't use, I always thought back in the day that just James would be like a great, name for, just James or James would be like a great name for a cosmetics brand. But if he can't use those, what is he supposed to come up with? And so what I'm wondering is he putting this out there as a tactic for people to say, well, if he can't use that, then what's the point in going forward with a makeup brand? And then he'll just say, I've decided not to do this makeup brand because I can't legally use any of these terms that I wanted to. And we'll be like, oh, well, that makes sense. Or his fans will be like, well, that makes sense, right? When really what it is he doesn't want to invest all this money in a makeup brand that's going to do so poorly, but he's been hinting at it for so many years now that he's got to do something. He's got to come out and say something, right? So is it easier to say, oh, wow, there's all this, they always talk about legal. There's all this legal stuff, that they can't do and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Does anybody find it, you guys, interesting that he can't use the word, hold on a second, cosmetics or beauty? Like, why would those be legal words that you couldn't use in your makeup brand? I mean, how many brands out there have the word beauty in their brand name? How many brands out there have the name cosmetics in their brand name? I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. The only thing it could be something contractually that he has with Morphe, and I don't believe that Morphe cares that greatly about James Charles that they wouldn't try to get rid of him tomorrow. You want to start your makeup brand? Start it. Go ahead. We're done, okay? Listen, we're done. It's like Family Feud, We're done. Have at it, okay? Best luck to you and your Desperation brand. I'm not buying it. I think he's lying. I think it's a complete lie. Unless he comes out with more, I think this is a tactic. This is what James Charles does. And we see a lot of these YouTubers do that. They put stuff out there as a tactic, a diversion tactic to say, oh, God, he can't even use any of these terms for his makeup brand. And then he's going to come out and say, I've decided that I'm not going to do my makeup brand. It's all this legal stuff, and I can't use these terms I want to use. And it's really sad because I've been wanting to do this for 3 years, and when does James Charles ever go into an office? When do we ever see him on his Instagram stories? When he's not hanging by the pool, okay, with his friends doing TikTok videos? When do we ever see him go into an office and have like serious sit-down meetings with a board of directors where they're talking about he hasn't shown that process or any of that whatsoever or even hinted at that. Even Jaclyn Hill did that. Even Jaclyn Hill went in and kind of dusted off her desk a little bit. You know what I mean? Because she's boss. She's the boss B-I-T, But anyway, I haven't seen that from him. Nobody has, because he hasn't shown that. So all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that, okay, this brand comes out of nowhere, and you can't use, I don't know. It's too much. It's too much, and you know what? I didn't even use my lip gloss today, so I'm going to use my lip gloss. And then I'm going to sign off, so here we go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.